Everybody, welcome to This Board Game Life, episode number 112, titled Crowd Craziness. This is the show about gaming, board gaming, tabletop gaming, card games, whatever kind of games that you want as part of this board gaming hobby, we will discuss. Even miniatures games, although usually not war games, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, I am one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob, and with me, as always, I've got my good buddy, Mr. Mark.
Hey, everybody. How you doing out there in the game land? Welcome to 2026.
Yes, 2026.
New games. New year, new games.
That is absolutely right. All at this part of the year, it's like a whole new world, right? Lots of possibilities coming up in the next 12 months of gaming. A lot of wallets getting tapped out across the way. Oh, look at that. Mark's got a new toy.
Ooh, this is a sneak peek. Sneak peek for those on the podcast. Just came in.
Video.
I'll say it for the audio listeners. I got Pawnscape, the new game from Tomas Holek. That just came in before we started recording, along with Aquaria.
Very nice.
So 2 capstone games, both from Tomas Holek. I'm super excited. What a way to start the year. So, yeah.
So the capstone stork delivered 2 new babies to you.
Yes. So,
and you ordered those a while ago.
Yep. I pre-ordered them direct from Capstone Games, so yeah. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but they showed up today, so I haven't seen them in the store yet.
Yeah, I would say it's a good thing, because that's usually the best way to get their new releases. So, anyway, got a little distracted there by some gaming goodness and some teasers for you all on what you can find on our channel. And let me segue into that. You can find a ton of our content, like Pawnscape, unboxing, and also the Aquaria unboxing coming soon. As Mark does a ton of great content out there. You can also find our video podcast and our audio podcast on there, in addition to unboxings, playthroughs, and reviews. Make sure to like and subscribe. That's a great way to support the show. Just takes a second to hit that like button. Just takes a second to hit subscribe, then do the little bell thing with the things all around it. At least that's how I do it. And it's a great way to support the show and to be notified when new stuff comes out. And
get that subscription while it's free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen with the YouTubes. But so Mark, what have you played in the past? I don't know. Last recording that we did was like 6 days ago, I think.
Yeah, through the holidays, we got off track. So that I was like, hey, Rob, you ready? Because it was in my calendar. And you're like, did we just record? I was like, oh, yeah, but it's on the calendar for today.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know what day it is. So that's my thing.
So I did get a couple games in. So I did play, and I know one game you're super, super happy about. But I did play Flamecraft Duals. And this is from the people that made Flamecraft. This is a 2-player version. It is an awesome game. Comes in a really cool little box. It's very travel friendly. Everything is in this box. And then it's basically it's a match 3 game. So this is a great introduction game for your friends who say they're not gamers, but they're playing like match 3 games all the time on their phones. This is a fantastic intro game, and it takes 15 minutes to play. It's not long, but it's really cool, really good game. I also picked up, I think I mentioned on the last podcast, I don't remember if I don't think I had this listed as played, but it has now been played a couple times, Sanctuary. So this is the Arc Nova game, the kind of streamlined, lighter weight version of Arc Nova. And I originally was not going to pick up this game because I'm like, I love Arc Nova. Why buy a quote what I would consider dumbed down version?
Or the express version.
The express version. This is a fantastic game. They have done an amazing job of, I really feel like there's still a lot of strategy. There's still a lot here, but it kind of removes it took out a lot of things, simplified the gameplay, but they still have added in things that aren't even in Arc Nova. And I love that there's bigger tiles. You have your map and you're using these great big tiles to put a place out on your map, and you still got all these like synergies and trying to get an engine going, but they've removed like the money and the pavilions and the kiosks and different things like that. And scoring is a lot easier. I never been a fan of Arc Nova's scoring about running the conservation and the points, and you play until they pass, and then you count the distance between them or something. Like, you could play that game for 3 hours and get no points. It just seems here everyone's scoring points like you expect in a game. So it's fantastic. Don't necessarily sleep on it because you think it's a stripped down version. It's actually really, really good. And if you've got some people that don't want to jump into Arc Nova because there is a lot going on there, this can be that gateway into medium weight to maybe a little bit more, and open up a possibility of them playing Arc Nova in the future, because this will help them get to understand the majority of what Arc Nova has. So it'll be easier for them to transition up to Arc Nova. All right, next I played a little card game called Tacta. It was okay. There's nothing special about it, but it did come off my shelf of shame finally. Also played FlipToons again. Rob, this is the one I picked up at Gen Con last year.
Remember
that. This is an interesting game. I don't think I really care for it that much because you only have control of what you're getting, what you're buying from the market when you have your points that you're spending. But it kind of, in a way, reminds me of Challengers, which I despise, because everything gets shuffled and you have no control of what comes out. And I love the artwork on FlipToons. That's the reason I bought the game. I absolutely fell in love with the art. So, but the gameplay itself, yeah, I think I'm kind of disappointed on it, and my joy of it has kind of gone down a little bit, unfortunately. But what I did enjoy, a new game I got to learn and ended up buying a copy and playing with my kids and my mother recently, is Awkward Guests, the Walton Case. This is Clue on crack. I guess that's like the only way I can describe it. This is essentially, an adult version of, and I don't mean adult as in boom chicka bow wow adult. I mean just as in, it's not your kid's Clue.
Yeah,
this is
Gamer Clue.
Gamer Clue, yes, it is.
There was a Gamer Monopoly that actually was similar, or was Monopoly Plus. So this sounds like that for Clue.
Yeah, you got to figure out, you're trying to figure out motive. There's different ways to try to figure out who did. You're trying to figure out who did it, but you're not whittling down people based on cards, like you do in Clue. This one is you are putting on a map, okay, so and so was spotted here, or there's no passage through here, or there's all these different things that come up in the game, and you're trying to figure out by deduction, but a lot more things to figure out. And so it's really fantastic. There's so many different ways to play the game, so many different scenarios, and yeah, it's fantastic. So if you get a chance, if you liked Clue as a kid or like that kind of deduction game, but you want something a little bit more, try Awkward Guests. All right, then I did play Ticket to Ride with my oldest son and daughter. We also played Soda Jerk. This is that game from Chris Yee from the Dice Tower. It's a quick little card game. So I did play that, and I got on New Year's Eve. I had some friends come over. That's where we played Awkward Guess, but I also got introduced to a brand new game. You probably never heard of this one. I think it just came out here in December. It's this game called Dominion. Have you ever heard of this one, Rob?
It does ring a bell.
So I think it came out 2004 or something. I don't know. It came out a long time ago.
2010, 12, something like that. Yeah.
But I've never
Or
played
earlier.
Dominion despite hearing so much about it. And so some friends brought it and introduced me to it. And needless to say, I have it. I have it and a couple of expansions on order. So really
Very
dug
nice.
it.
Yeah.
And yes. And
yeah, 2008. Yeah.
And then I'm also decided, before it's even arrived, I've already started printing some storage for it. So this is a little case that, whoops, I got my screens all messed up, so I have to put it like right in front of my face
Yep.
But I've got you can put all the cards in this box. It's labeled the base set, and then just pull out what you need. So I've been printing boxes to store it. So when it shows up, here's the one for the gold, silver, and the duchies. And then, of course, I've printed my intrigue box. And I'm in the middle of, I'm paused right now, but doing Seaside. And then after that prints, I will be doing, what started with a P. Prosperity. So those are the ones that I ordered. I got the big box with the base game Intrigue in it, and then ordered Prosperity and Seaside. And figured that's all I'm going to need for now. So, but wow, what a fun game. Took me a moment to learn it and kind of even though it's so simple, but I kept screwing up because I'm so used to, like, my first deck builder was probably Clank or DC deck building. So like with Clank, you play a card and it's like, oh, you get to draw another card. I took a card and they kept going, no, you can't do that because you already played, and it's one action, one buy. And I was like, what are you talking about? It says I get to play another card. So I had to wrap my mind around one action, one buy. And once I did and got that, yes, it's like Flux, the deck builder.
Yeah, unless you get a card with an action that says +1 action.
Exactly, yeah.
Now you got 2.
So it took me a little bit, and then once I got that clicked in my head, I don't know why I didn't get that the first time, but what a fun game. Now I get it. And it was something that I looked at before because, Dominion, people talk about it all the time. And I looked at the cards and I'm like, ew, this just doesn't look interesting, but it's
that like medieval art that they have everywhere.
Yeah, not a fan. I know a lot of people are, but yeah, fantastic game. I had so much fun. So
it'll be interesting to see what you think of the different expansions that have released. So, there's the base game, you have Prosperity, Intrigue, and Seaside. Each of those, that was not a dramatic pause, that was me coughing. But each of those adds interesting gameplay twists. I mean, the base game has like really good gameplay in how the different cards work together, and then like Seaside has a very interesting like boat mechanic, and I believe there's some coins in there, and the other ones also add their own different take on it. So there's a little bit of a debate as to which cards you should play together, but it'll be interesting to see what you think about the different sets. And it can take a long time to play through all of them because, you choose like 10 cards, I think, per game. So there's going to be, out of the the base and the 3 expansions, that's going to be a lot of cards and stuff. But that was all that you had, right?
That's it.
Yeah, and then you did inspire me. to to start playing some Dominion. I got the electronic version to my electronic table, and I knocked out a whole bunch of games. I haven't played this game in easily 10 years.
Oh,
at
wow.
least. Yeah, so it's been so long. I remember the core mechanics of it without a problem, but it was interesting. My first game playing, I'm like, when did this end? Because the different games they use deck building that came after Dominion all have different ways to finish the game, and I'm like, was it like 12 points, 15 points? That seems too low. And then I'm like, I'm above 40 points, and I'm like, oh wait, it's not points, it's when you run out of the
certain piles, right?
card
Of
stacks.
cards.
Yeah, and then it was like, well, how many was it? I know it was at least 2. Yeah, it's 3. So that was kind of funny because it reminded me of the old strategy of, okay, I got a crap ton of points, I need to deplete those piles ASAP.
Yeah.
And push the end of game. So I'm like sitting there looking, okay, which one has the least that I'm gonna burn through? And yeah, it's a classic game. It's such a fun game. I think it still does withstand the test of time. It came out 18 years ago,
Yeah.
and won the SDJ, and it's had 1 million releases. Like a dozen expansions, and now they're on the, what do they call it, second edition.
Yeah.
So it's just another reason to make you buy everything again, I guess. But and it's cool that you already got the Dominion storage thing figured out, because that was always a tough thing. I've got the old storage case. It was a Hobby Lobby artist case that everybody was using for a while. But it would be nice to get it to something not as heavy, not as kludgy, definitely, for sure. And back in the day, I did start sleeving everything, and I've got everything sleeved in Fantasy Flight sleeves, which I don't believe exist anymore after Asmodee bought them. So if I was even to buy anything, I'd probably have to unsleeve everything, like if I was to buy a new set. Well, actually, if I bought a new set, I don't know if it would match the old set. It would probably be all different art or something like that. I'm sure they did something. Do you know what the difference is between second edition and the first?
I think it was just some differences in cards. I think they removed some cards from the first set, and there's some different ones in the second edition. So probably just for balance reasons, but I believe that's all it was.
Okay. That's probably not a big deal. But anyway, let's get on with the show real quick. If you're asking, how can you get in touch with us? Well, the answer is easy. You can send us an email at contact@thisboardgamelife, or feel free to comment on any of our posts on BGG. We have stuff on our guilds. I usually post the episodes on there, the podcast forum, the stuff's on there as well. And then also leave a comment on our YouTube videos. And we love seeing the comments on there, and we respond. So, all right, on to the news. You want to take this first one, and then I'll grab the other two?
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
So I thought this was interesting. So there's I guess this is a French, what is it, like an award? So the Diamante d'Or, it's a prize launched more than a decade ago to champion complex Euro games that the organizers felt were being overlooked by more mainstream board game awards, and they have now unveiled their 8 finalists for 2026. So the first one they picked is Galactic Cruise. So this, I guess, came out in 2024, or that's when the campaign started. I do know it's come out. I got a couple friends that have it, and they just rave about it. I've yet to play it. I'm hoping to get it played soon. And I've seen it in the store, but I haven't bought it because it's just looks like a lot, but I've just heard such great things about Galactic Cruise. They also have included Luthier, which I just picked up just last week, and Sweetlands from a Japanese publisher. The other nominees also include Recall, and Ada's Dream, and a game called Ants. So, and then I think, is there, oh, and then also Quayside, and I think the last one here is Philharmonics. So it's a space orchestra focused worker placement game. So the French award focuses on new expert level Eurogame releases from the previous 12 months, which have a high replayability, especially those whose format does not always allow them to apply for one of the many other current awards. So, yeah, I just thought that was a lot of games in there. I'd never heard of the Diamant d'Or. I don't know, Rob, if that's one that you have heard of before, but they've been around for a decade. So, but those are the finalists for the 2026 prize.
Yeah, it looks like last year it was SETI that won it with Civolution from Stefan Feld, and Vital that came in second, and Vital Lacerda's Inventions, Evolution of Ideas in third. So these are all like
heavy games.
You know, yeah, they're not beginner friendly, you know, easy games.
Yeah, I played Civolution and I played SETI, obviously. I love it.
Yeah.
Civolution. I don't have Civolution. I got a friend who has it. I'd like to play it again. Not sure if I like it or not. I want to do it again, play it again because it's Stefan Feld. So, but yeah, the first time I played it was a little daunting,
a little rough.
Exactly. So that's my news of the week.
Okay, and on to the next thing. So Asmodee, if you've ever heard of them, they're this huge monstrosity of a company where they own like everything. Well, a while back in 2021, they picked up a portion of Exploding Kittens, and it looks like they are actually no in 2021 they had a 55% stake in Exploding Kittens, and looks like they just picked up the rest of it. So Exploding Kittens, with that whole IP, is now a wholly owned Asmodee IP/product, along with, I'd say, 50% of the board game industry already, except for the tiny little places. So, no, not surprising that they are acquiring more. But then the other thing was the Witcher board game. So The Witcher is a video game that's been around for some time. Witcher 3, I think, was probably the best installment of the bunch, and the biggest seller. That was done by CD Projekt Red, also makers of other fun, exciting titles such as the Cyberpunk 2077, I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Game, yeah. And so The Witcher has moved on over into the board game world, I don't know, about 10 years ago with the first Witcher game. And then there's been a couple of releases since in the crowdfunding space. Go On Board has done the most recent version with The Witcher Legacy. And this thing just closed out at about $12.25 million with just shy of 30,000 backers.
Wow.
That is like crazy. We kind of mathed it out using our old calculator skills, And so that winds up being roughly around $400 per average, $400 per backer with this thing. So that is ridiculous. I mean, it's a very successful project, kudos to them. And there's some interesting stuff in this. The game producers are going to be releasing a narrative app with over 300,000 words of narration.
Wow.
In 7 languages that can be used with or instead of the campaign books. So this game is a cooperative campaign game. There's, I guess, a bunch of different modes to play it. And if you've seen this thing, there's a lot to it. So you are getting a lot of stuff, a lot of hours in there, but it's a fascinating project, campaign, and congrats to them for a very successful campaign with such a monumental release. And
incredible.
It looks like it's gonna be hitting people's homes sometime in 2027. So that's when the release is, because after collecting $12 million, now they have to actually make a game. Do the final
$12 million.
Yeah, exactly. They have to do the final steps, like everything, and all that good stuff.
Got to build their headquarters on the moon.
Yeah, sure they probably can. But yeah, I was just looking at. Actually, let me refresh this, see if this updated. Yeah, 29,994 backers, and it's like 6 shy of 30,000.
Wow,
that'd be annoying if I was thinking I'd probably go in and buy 6. I'd pledge 6 times or something.
Yeah,
it's probably too late to do it now.
Someone at the company should have done that.
Dude, check this out. And I was looking at it in GameFound right now. So their goal was 100,000 euros, and they hit it in 4 minutes.
Wow.
Anyway, so enough of that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, let's get on to the main topic: crowd craziness.
Woo-hoo!
So, talking about The Witcher, we can segue into this because crowd craziness is what some of these crowdfunding projects basically are. And, looking over these crowdfunding projects over the past couple months, there's just a lot of stuff going on, maybe is one way to put it. I think GameFound is definitely different than Kickstarter because, what would you say to this? Is or are the campaigns on either platform is one platform tends to have does one platform tend to have higher production than the other? Have you ever noticed that at all? Maybe I'm guiding you into the answer that I want, which is what
I know what you're trying to
get
me to say.
Yeah.
I know that Awaken Realms does everything on GameFound. I'm trying. I mean, I have done some smaller stuff on there that doesn't fit that.
Sure.
That kind of idea. And I know I've backed some pretty big stuff off of Kickstarter.
True.
But I feel as if you're going to get a game, if you're going to back a game that has a ton of content and hundreds of hours of board game play, you're probably going to find it on GameFound for some reason.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like that. It doesn't mean It's true.
No, it's not a hard rule. right?
Right.
So there's exceptions to that, but you know, let's look at, for example, I shouldn't have closed it out because I just did. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Oh yeah, Control Shift T. Thank you very much. So when we look at the Witcher project, and I'm just choosing this one because I'm not trying to use it as an example. It's a great project overall, but this is a commonality with a lot of these projects. So this project has had 86 stretch goals unlocked. 86.
That's stupid. That
That
irritates me.
That is a lot. This project has, you can split your payment into 10 interest-free payments with stretch pay. 0% interest. The other thing, there's 34 hours of main story gameplay, 100 hours to uncover all the stories. That's due to some kind of non-linear campaign. And then there's unlimited replayable endgame scenarios. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pledges, like 6 or 7 boxes and stuff like that. Now, a couple of things. Number one, do you really need a game that you have to basically finance? I don't know, it's at 0%, and stretch pay isn't technically financing, but it's just crazy to me that these games are getting so expensive at the highest tiers that people actually may need to like break down the payments.
I guess at least there's an option to do it, because like what did we look up? We looked at The Witcher all in was like, what'd you say, $450 roughly US price, and that's a lot of money to put out for something that you're not even going to see for probably a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah, June 2027 is their date.
Yeah,
for the campaign.
And when the thing closes, they take that money. So now you have nothing for at least a year and a half. So I think it's nice you can pay it in chunks,
installments. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of money just to throw out. So, but
yeah, but if you're paying in 10 installments at $40 or 40 euros a month, 40 euros is a game in itself. Granted, a smaller game, not as nicely produced, and the extravagant minis and the production value.
But I like it for people like, I mean, you and I were at that part of our life where we do have some disposable income, and it's easier for you and I to go, here, I'm going to buy this big expensive game. There are a lot of people, I know some like in my game group, that having stretch pay allows them to have some big giant game and pay a little bit every month to get it, where otherwise they just would not be able to get it. So right. I think it's a good thing, but I think maybe what you're getting to is, and I'm looking at it different, but I think I'm going to get to where maybe you want me to go.
I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to tell me what you think.
Don't go there. Get there already. Yeah. If a game is that expensive, is it too big?
Well, that's another consideration. What I was basically thinking was, if you need to basically do a layaway for a game, we probably shouldn't be getting that game, because a game is not an investment.
Yeah. It's I don't know, I think to some people it's it's more than a game. You and I think, both like to have. We have kind of a collector mentality. There's a
Sure.
lot of people in this industry, I think, that are collectors as well, completionists. But if you're a completionist and you're getting a game like this, are you going to be able to complete the game? That's one of the things I struggle with on things like Dragon Eclipse, ISS Vanguard, Grim Coven. You know, I pay a lot of money for those games. How many times am I actually going to play them? Will I get my money's worth? Likely not. Like, I really like Grim Coven, but it's such a large game. It's so hard to get tabled and to get people to that know how to play it. Like, once you get some people to play it, and I've got a group that they liked it, but it's like, okay, well, now something new else has come out that we all want to play. So are we going to get this other game that we've already played, or we're going to play the new hotness? That's why I think some of these expensive ones are really tough to justify, because The Witcher, when are you going to play? Didn't you say something about having infinite ending possibilities or something?
Yeah.
It's like, how many times are you going to play it to get it all?
Yeah. I mean, most people are probably going to play it 4 times, 3 times, if that. But go ahead.
Well, even one time at a game like that, did they say how long the campaign is?
Oh, I'm not sure.
A lot of those could be, you're looking at potentially hundreds of hours just to finish a single one-time run through of the game.
Yeah, I'm just looking here for gameplay. 700 pages of main campaign text.
700 pages.
Yeah, 3.5 years of development time so far in this game. I mean, it looks great. But so the other thing I was going to mention now, when you have a crowdfunding campaign such as this, and there's a lot of other games out there that fall into the same category, where they are so well produced and we'll call it so high quality and has so much stuff, have they pushed themselves out of the normal friendly local game store retail space? So what I mean by that is most friendly local game stores will not be stocking a $400 game. If they do, 1 copy, maybe. I would be shocked if they had 2.
It's going to be tough. I know my place does carry some of this type of stuff. I picked up Dragon Eclipse through them. There was one on the shelf.
Sure.
I don't know how many they actually did buy. I have seen, and that was at their second location. There was only one. Now I did see him at my location, but I only saw like the expansions and things like that. They have a couple other very large games, but there's like 1 copy of it, and that's it, because they're so expensive. It's too much risk for them to spend that much money to potentially not recoup it for years.
Yeah, because they don't want it to be a dead product worth $400 that they'll never be able to sell, except maybe at a massive loss at some point.
Yeah. Which sometimes that's what they have to do, is they have to maybe bundle it, but they're basically giving some stuff away for free to try to get it off the shelf to make space for new games. And then you run the risk too of, when there's something like this that has your retail version, your deluxe version, and your super duper deluxe version, you're going to go with the base retail, but then that might sit because everybody wants the big, expensive, fancy version. So it could be like a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really feel like games like this really kind of have a smaller base of people that they're going to be able to offload this to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's cool that they're there, and people are obviously, like you said, almost 30,000 people have backed to this thing to the tune of $12 million plus dollars. Obviously, there's a demand for it.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
I mean, I don't know what's a normal game print run like. Something that's not like Hasbro. Something that would be like, okay, so like let me just take Capstone Games, like how many copies of Pawnscape? Now this is small, okay, but Pawnscape or even the bigger one, Aquaria. How many copies do you think they actually run in an initial printing? You know,
So that is a very good question. I can tell you what it was historically prior to now. It was very common for smaller publishers when they're doing their own print run, meaning not joining in with partners overseas, etc. They would typically do, and I'm just gonna do the most common one that I've heard over the years, 1,000 print run. That's basically
wow, that's it.
that's
Wow.
basically, I mean, that's how it was maybe like 10, 15 years ago. It was extremely common. And that would be enough because the publishers had an issue, right, where they had to get enough copies of the game to make it feasible because the production costs, like for example, the trays. Let's say if there were trays in the box, those cost a couple thousand each to make the molds. And then, I mean, that might have changed recently, but back then that's how it was. And then you had to have, everything created for the games, like when they stamp the cutouts in the chipboard card, not it's not cardboard, whatever it is, the screws,
Yeah.
for the you pop out the pieces. They had to custom make those cutting dies for that,
Mhm.
let alone if there was any custom pieces, any miniatures and stuff like that. All the molds had to be made for that. So it was an expense that they had to recoup, like through the manufacturer. Like they had to print out a certain amount of them in order to get a reasonably priced game to put out in the marketplace at a reasonable price. And these Kickstarter companies, I don't think they really deal with that, like this 30,000 unit um, print at least that they're going to have, because I would imagine that they'd probably print definitely more than 30,000 because they have to have access and potential second print runs and so forth. But yeah, the 1,000 print run was a big deal way back when, and that was also one of the reasons why FOMO kicked in pretty hard,
Yeah.
because you knew that initial print run was at best 1,000 units globally, and if you didn't get your copy, you were SOL. And it could have been like, I remember seeing Palaces of Carrera out from Z-Man Games. I had it in my hands when I was at Gen Con, and I said, nah, I'll put it back. It's $40. I'll pick it up later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I did get it from Game Crafter, Game Brewer, one of them reprinted it. I eventually got a release of it like 8 years later. But
Well, that was a long time to wait.
yeah. But when some of the games when they get reprinted, especially if they're printed with partners, like if a game gets printed, it's got a lot of buzz on it, and then they also print for the European market, they print for South America, whatever. In that case, the print run might be bigger, but that's just because it's going to a bunch of different companies.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the rough gist. But there's always the exceptions to every rule. Like, it was around here somewhere, like Ticket to Ride. I don't know if it's in the frame. That's it right
Yeah.
there. That thing's, I don't know how many. Oh, actually, it says right. So my box that I got, I don't know how many years ago, at least 12, 13, 14 years ago, it says over 1.1 million Ticket to Ride games sold.
Yeah.
So they had, or Days of Wonder had more than 1,000 printed.
Yeah.
But yeah, the popular games, like a lot of them, like Arc Nova and stuff like that, I'm sure those printed way more. But anyway, there's my very long tirade or tangent to your simple question.
Well, just an update since your copy. AI says that as of 2024, over 20 million copies
20? Wow.
of the
That's all those.
refreshed USA version.
Oh. Yeah.
So
mine's
that's the main game. Like that doesn't even count all the other versions.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, going back to what we were talking about, the crowdfunding, I think it definitely creates a whole separate market for them to put out a different kind of game that can never exist in the retail space, in the normal retail space.
yeah.
But you can also look at that as a positive, where it allows them to create a game that normally never would survive the retail market.
That's true.
So
yeah.
maybe that's a good thing for some people. And just looking at this, it's like we'll use Witcher Legacy again just as an example. It's not the only one here, but if it's got 700 pages of campaign stuff and it's got 100 hours of game time, is that something that we can ever even play?
Plus, it's a legacy game, so
Yeah.
it's basically a one shot until you are done, and then I guess you can. There's probably ways to play afterwards without having the campaign,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of time. Now, if you truly do sit and play a game for 100 hours, I mean, that's some massive ROI in my opinion,
True.
Because like break it down to what's the cost per hour, and then per player, you're talking probably pennies, but are you going to get it played? Are you going to get it all the way through? That's and I did look it up, and you can play that solo. So if you are a solo person, then you can sit there and you can probably do it on your own. But if you're going to want to play with a group, that's got to be some very dedicated people. I tried Gloomhaven with a group that was very dependable, and we didn't make it.
Yeah. Heck, even legacy games like 12, 15 play legacy games are tough to do.
Yeah, they can be. So,
or let me ask you this. If somebody was to buy this game at a couple $100, right? $2 to $4.50, I think, is what the spread was converted into dollars. If you were to buy this, would you be the type of person that only plays one game? Because I would say, go ahead.
Well, if you're asking me that, I have put so kind of back to Kickstarter has some stuff like this too.
Sure.
Deep Rock Galactic, I probably got $500+ into that, and have played it just a couple of times. And I'm waiting for like the third campaign of content to come, which I haven't even played the second campaign of content. Both those boxes that I bought are just sitting here, never been played. I ordered the third. Who knows when it'll get played. Also, what was it? There was something else. Wonderland's War. Oh, and Dice Throne. Like, I don't even want to mention how much money in Dice Throne I have. I haven't played all of it. Not even close. But it's one of those, I want everything. I've backed the next one, I'm waiting for the next one that'll come out this year. So will it get played? I think it depends on the gamer. There are some people, I think, that absolutely, like, you might even have people that aren't even board gamers that are video gamers that saw that this was getting a board game and they love The Witcher so much. They're like, I'm getting this
Sure.
board game. And that's the only board game they got, maybe. Or maybe they have the other Witcher games
That is a
and they're going to
possibility.
play it. But I think people like you and I, we're always playing something different or getting something different. So it's really hard for us to dedicate that much time to a single game. And we might sit down and play it once or twice, maybe for a couple of hours. We'll probably be lucky to get 5 hours out of the 100, and then it'll just sit on the shelf and look pretty in our background.
And very pretty.
So, I would love to be able to find out, like Gloomhaven, like what's the percentage of people who've actually completed it compared to the amount of people who have bought it. You know, I bet it's on the smaller end.
I would be surprised if 20% played it all the way through.
Yeah, it's just,
I would think it'd be that low.
I bet there's more people. I bet there's a higher percentage of people that have started it multiple times and have yet to complete it than those that have actually completed it all the way through one time.
Yeah, and me saying like less than 20% is no knock against the game. I think it's the human element of time commitments and people moving away and various things that just make that challenging.
Yeah, it's like, as much as I enjoy Nemesis and Grim Coven and Dragon Eclipse, and those are harder to play because there's such large table presence. There's a lot of time to set up, which obviously The Witcher is going to have a lot of setup. Whereas something like right behind you there, Tea Garden, I can bring that box, set it down, have it set up in 5 minutes and play a game. And within an hour and a half, you're done and you're moving on to another game. Where, like, Wednesday nights, tomorrow night, I'm going to my game night. We're going to play Unfathomable. I'm hoping we can get it in the 4 hours that we have. It'll be a one game night. I like going when I can get 2 to 3 games in on a Wednesday night. I love those nights. So now I'm really looking forward to playing Unfathomable because it's very much like, it's the same system that the Battlestar Galactica system is, and I love that. So I'm looking forward to playing a variant of a game I really enjoy. And but yeah, it's going to take more time, and it's harder to get those types of games played because of just table presence and the size, and you got to teach people, and that makes it tough. Like when I do Nemesis, I got new people. I'm like, dude, you got to show up early. I'll be there an hour early just to set up. Yeah. And then if someone else, I do ask people to show up a half hour early so we can start setting up the players and, try to get a teach in as best I can, or a reminders of those that have played it once. So something like The Witcher and these big, huge games, that's the big barrier there. It's so cool to have all this, and it's exciting, and it's like, but then when it comes down to it, how often are we going to get it played? This game's going to take some massive, serious dedication, and that's with any of these large box games. So,
and I wonder if there's, let's say, a video game fan that loves The Witcher, and then they see this and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to get this board game. It's about The Witcher," and then they, if they don't fall out of their chair when they see the price of it, then what's going to happen when they pull out that rule book? Yeah, you get people that, they buy a ticket to ride, and they're like, "I don't understand how to play this game," and doesn't have like a one sheet rule book or rule page or something like that, or
it's a couple of pages, but it's pretty short.
Yeah, relatively simple. So yeah, it's an accomplishment even just to learn how to play it.
Yeah.
Now, what about something like these stretch goals? Almost 90 stretch goals. That's like a lot.
It's ridiculous. And I don't like stretch goals because, I'm sorry, let's be honest, people. It's content that was already planned out. It's gonna be in the game.
Maybe.
They know what they're gonna print and what's going to be there. It's all planned out. And the thing is they're just going to be like, they use it to try to get people more excited. Oh, look, if we get some more people, and it's all designed for marketing, but having us do the marketing, it's like, oh man, we need more people. Hey, I got to tweet this out. I got to Facebook this. I got to whatever so I got a social media this to try to tell everybody in the world about it, to get more people to give me those stretch goals, because it doesn't hurt them to not include it. Oh, we didn't raise enough money. It's not it, and it's stupid stuff. Like, I was looking at a lot of this. A lot of it's just a card. Like, one card changes something,
like a
it's
promo card.
Like it's like a side mission or something in Witcher. It's like, you probably, a lot of those are promos that you never use anyways, but you feel like, oh, I got to get it, and they're doing it to increase FOMO, to have all of us, the consumer, do all their media work for free. I mean, is that smart? Yeah, probably. But I feel like they're being disingenuous with the consumer, and that's why I don't like it. And, oh, give us a little bit more, and we'll give you this such a cool thing that turns out to be pretty pointless almost every single time. So, not a big fan of stretch goals. Yeah, I think they're useless. I prefer just tell me what I'm getting. I'm giving you my money. I'm giving you my money a year to year and a half, sometimes 2 years up front. Don't dangle some carrot in front of me. Just tell me what I'm getting. You're getting all my money up front. Tell me what I'm going to get. So
that surprised me with $50 shipping cost.
And right, $50 tariffs and so.
Yeah, because the thing that I wonder about some of these stretch goals is I think nowadays stretch goals are almost expected.
Well, did you look at their very first one? It's the app. It was the app.
Okay.
So instead of reading out of the 700-page script, and you reading it, you just hit go read this entry log on your device, and it reads it for you. That's it. That's not a stretch goal. That's a bunch of crap. Because do you know how much money they are paying to develop the app, to have some people, multiple people, reading all those 700 pages worth of text? Unless they're AIing it, which they might. But there's still going to be a pretty heavy price to develop that. And that is not something that they're adding on for free. That's not a stretch goal. That's something that has to be in development and is going to be very expensive for them to do. So stop lying to us. And this isn't a knock on this company. All these companies do this garbage.
Right.
So
yeah, we're not complaining about The Witcher by any means.
Right. No.
Yeah, nope. We're just talking about what's going on in the industry as a whole, and it's just a recent example of a campaign that includes stuff that every company does. Now, the thing about the stretch goals is I think that they're almost a requirement now because everybody expects them, just because every campaign pretty much has them. And I agree that a lot of them are things that, let's say, initially were part of the game or should be part of the game. But I think at some point it goes from stuff that is beneficial or necessary for the game into extraneous stuff. And I always wonder where that delineation is. So in this project, almost 90 stretch goals. How many of the stretch goals are actually worthwhile?
One.
The first, okay.
The very first
one.
The app.
And the other, and the other 88 are not.
Right.
Or is it the first 20 are actually good or quality of gaming life improvements, and the rest are all just fluff? It's like it's almost like perfect example. When you move, you get that moving box of stuff that you just throw in your spare room, and it sits there for like 10 years. You don't even know what's in there. You haven't touched it. You haven't used it. And at that point, do you need it? Probably not. a lot of these things here as well. And I'd say a lot of promos fall into the same category. I don't know if they're worth it. But hey, if you get them for the cost and they're already factored into the cost, I don't know, maybe it's better just to get it anyway and not use it. Who knows?
Yeah, so I'm going to throw this. So again, just so we're not picking on The Witcher, I'm going to pick on Awaken Realms. I love their projects. So one I backed, Puerto Rico, right? Just had that recently. One of their stretch goals, which was on the last day, I'm sorry, day 19. Oh, it wasn't the last one. Unique player boards. They're like the dual layer player boards. I guess they called, I'm sorry, unique. So there's a different printing on the dual layer. So each one is
identical.
they're not all identical. Really? That's a stretch goal? You had all that artwork stuff. You have it all figured out. That's not going to cost you and if this costs you money to do, we're paying for it. So it's already built in. And that's the thing. Yep. Even if they didn't get to day 19, and they don't include the unique player boards, we still paid for it. That's what I don't like about stretch goals. Is the last one was you get a cardboard first player miniature, or a cardboard one upgraded to, or you get first player miniature / standee. That's on day 21. You get a miniature first player marker. Really? A first player marker is now a stretch goal. Are you kidding me? That's just something that should be in the game. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, they'll do something like a linen finish rulebook or a solo mode. You can't stretch goal a solo mode. It has to have been developed. It already has to exist. You can't say, well, if we get this much people, then we'll go ahead and create one. And that's what they're saying.
Or I think something like solo modes, usually they're done by a solo mode creator, I would say.
Yeah, but that costs money.
Right.
And it has to be done ahead of time.
Yeah, it can, yeah. But it's more like, oh, we'll include it as opposed to come out with it as a separate product later, which is the other alternative.
But we're still paying for it.
Yes, yeah.
That's the thing.
True.
All those stretch goals that are locked, if you back the product, you've already paid for every one of those, whether you get them or not.
Yep.
So that's my issue. Mm-hmm.
Or how about this? So when you have a $400 game, what basically says that it's worth $400? So if they have a $400 price point for a particular version of a game, is the publisher then incentivized to keep throwing more stuff into it to justify that price? Because, like with Witcher, how much is enough gameplay? 20 hours? 25 hours? Or 32, 34, whatever it was? Is that enough to justify that price tag? And if they look at it, based on maybe comments, or I don't know if they would do focus groups or something like that, if they determine it's not enough, what do? Just spend another month coming up with extra stuff to throw into the game, extra campaigns, add another, 50 pages to the 700 page campaign book. You know what I mean? It's like they can keep throwing stuff in there, which may or may not be worth it.
And here's the other thing. So with all the stuff, and yes, it's a high price, but you got 30,000 people backed it. What if you were able to make this game and it was $60, $100? Would they have gotten a lot more people to come in and buy it? Would they have made, maybe not gotten $12 million, but you might have gotten 100,000 backers?
Yeah.
and your profit margin at that point might have been larger because you don't have all these high expensive miniatures and things like that, and that's getting your game out even more. I wonder what the draw is to do something so large, so expensive that you're only going to get a small amount of people to buy it. Like Awaken Realms, they're big box games. Like they make so many of them. Would they sell more copies of Nemesis if it wasn't so large? I mean, I don't know. Maybe then you got to compete against all the regular, Alien board games from Ravensburger and stuff like that. So, I mean, I like him, and I don't. Again, I'm not complaining. I spend a lot of money. I give Awaken Realms a lot of my money. I love what they do. But this is more of a question of, if I could, I guess, I don't know. I guess they're giving the people what we want, because I could have bought Castles of Burgundy, a different edition, for a lot less. But when it came out, I'm like, yep, yes, please.
Yeah. No, I know.
Take it. So, yeah, I guess it's worth. I think what it comes down to is The Witcher was worth it to 30,000 people, which is 30 times what some other publishers would do on their first print run. So that's huge. There's got to be a big market, a big margin of profit for them, or they wouldn't do it. Awaken Realms continues to put out large box, very expensive productions. Dice Throne does it. Excuse me. Deep Rock Galactic is that's who is that? Who's putting that out? I should know that.
Oh, I don't know.
I know the company, but I can't think of it at the moment. Mood Publishing.
Mood. Yeah.
So
it's right over there.
Yeah. Mine's sitting right here, but I can't see the publisher name. They're on their third campaign now, so obviously people are buying it. So again, I think it just comes down to there's so many factors in buying something that's this expensive. I know I got family members like, how can you spend $100 on a board game?
Like you're crazy. Monopoly's 15 at
Walmart,
$2 at Goodwill.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't get it. It's other people buy other stuff. It is. It's a hobby, and there's people that'll spend thousands of dollars on paints and painting things, and it's their hobby. So it's obviously it's worth it to a lot of people, and I'm really glad that companies are doing it because we wouldn't have some of these massive, big, beautiful games to put on the table and show off with people if it wasn't for things like crowdfunding. So,
oh, for sure.
But
there was something else I was going to mention, and now I don't remember what it is. So I'll hold that thought. But yeah, even though we had some interesting things to discuss and to kind of like do a deep dive on, I think that the board game space or the tabletop gaming space is better off with these as an option, because I would rather have these as an option available to us rather than not. Like to go back in time, like how things were in the early 2000s or even before that, we didn't have anywhere near as many options, or even international versions of games to enjoy where you had to do translations and stuff like that. So it's a much better place, and people speak with their wallet when they back this stuff. They're telling publishers, this is what we want.
Yeah. Right? Agreed.
Yeah. And Awaken Realms can keep going. Keep going. Like they're doing Agricola. I don't know. They can do Gates of Voying next.
I backed Agricola, never played it. I've previewed. I'm waiting for them to announce the Agricola Dead Harvest, the zombie version of Agricola, which they're gonna. Yep. Their campaign is it's. I guess they'll announce it sometime. They've also mentioned the game called Labyrinth. I don't know if
yeah.
you're familiar with Labyrinth, but they're redoing that, I guess, in a nice big box, a special edition type of thing. So somebody here wants
Yeah, I don't
attention.
know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's a good game, but I don't think I would get that one.
yeah, it's not something that looks to be interesting to me. So
Yeah, it's more of a family game
yeah,
than a fun game. Or how about Le Havre?
Nah,
that's another one. Who knows? Anyway, I guess we can end it here. Do you have anything else to add about that, or we get to close it out, my friend?
I think we're good. That was fun to discuss, and I look forward to. People can leave comments below on the YouTube page that, of course, you have already liked and subscribed to. Again, it's free. So yeah, comment, send us emails, comment on the YouTube. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on what we talked about today or any of the games we talked about. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, click one of these buttons here to watch that video that YouTube thinks you're going to like. I'm not exactly sure where it be. I think it'll be on this side, but my camera might be backwards. So
yeah, just read your screen when it pops up. And
should be on the left side of your screen. So,
or your other left.
It's either your left or your military left, one of the two.
Anyway. All right, so that's it for episode 112. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully you're going to have a great, hopefully you had a great year of gaming in 2025, and you're going to have some great gaming coming up here in 2026 on the horizon. So I am Rob. We'll catch you all in 2 weeks with our next episode.
And I'm Mark, and we'll see you at the table.